Good evening, my name is Winston and I want to teach you guys how to build a simple login page using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Without wasting much time, let's go into our code. Now, this is the folder structure for work. The main folder is logger and that's got CSS folder, HTML folder, JS folder and HTML folder, which is our index. Within our index, I have this boilerplate already set up because I assume that you have pieces of HTML. Inside our CSS, there's this file, and there's this, and the index 2 of our JS. In the JS is also empty. Let's go into it. Now we want our HTML to have the body of HTML to have two divs. Okay, no, one main div, and within it is another div. Okay, and within that div is a form. Okay, and within that form is a form group. Okay, but is in the form of a div. Okay, let me go over everything again. Okay, so that you get to understand what I mean. You see, you want our login to be in such a way that it has a it has a background of light coral, and the main login component, it becomes a simple rectangle with a form embedded in it. And then in order for us to implement that, you want to make sure that we sandwich there's small rectangle as a simple div, and the form that exists on that particular div is this particular form here, and these two divs or two elements of this represents each form group. When I say form group, a form group is a group of elements that's together comes to form a single a meaning to the form. Example, email and an email label and a form, and an input that has a type of email. Okay, it forms a single form group. Or when you have a password label and a password input field. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's move on. So let's try and rewrite this same thing using a shorthand. Okay, we only use emmet. So emmet is an extension. Okay, you download emmet from your Google extension, or VS Code store. From here, you click it and you type in what you want, and it comes and install emmet. It's EMMET. Then also install live server. We'll use live server to deploy our page from here. Thank you. Now let's move forward. Let's use emmet to rewrite this code with the associate class name. So this becomes the main wrapper. Then under it we have the greater than sign means that we are going to get something else. Okay, yeah, and under it is a form. Right, if you remember the form, and under the form we have two divs. Okay, and each is going to have a name called form group, right? Form dash group. Okay, and it's going to be two. It's going to be two. Okay, let's click enter. So this is what we have. We're using emmet. Our work is looking nicer, and the boilerplate just came. You know, the boilerplate we avoided it, but we still have it though. But we use a shorthand to get it. Anyway, so let's use styling to make sure that our work is conforming to the way we want it to look like. So in our style, we want to write the body and remove the extra margins and patterns that comes with the body of a web page. Okay, then a box size to border box. Then the next thing you want to do is that you want to start styling the main login wrapper. You want the dimensions to be 100 by 100. Okay, so I want to say width is equal to 100 VH, VW view width, and the height to be 100 VH. Then you want to make the background color to actually illustrate what we're doing. I want light coral. Cool. Now we are not going to see the effects because we have not connected our CSS to our backend to our HTML to our CSS. So you're having this empty space. Cool. So you're going to do that. So write link, type link, and in the link you specify relationship as a style sheet. Then the hypertext reference, okay, as CSS index of CSS. So we're having the light scroll. Now the next thing we are supposed to do is to center the login main. So to center the login main, you should remember that the login main is a child to the login wrapper. So to do that, we will change the display to flex, and I want it to be center. Okay, so I can use the grid. Then place items center. You will not see the effect now because you have not styled the login main. So I have to say login main. Login main. You want the login main to take a width. We want to use VW and VH anymore because we have the parents that we have specified the view width. So we used to use percentages because of responsiveness. So let's say 30%, and the height, you want the height to be at least 55%. Then to show the difference between the background, you have to change this one to white. I want it to be white. Exactly. Now what you want to do again is to change the background. Sharpen the edges of this particular rectangle, and also increase so we have it this way. That's it. Cool. And let's start working for the form. Okay, so just call form, and you want to change the display of the form to be flex, okay, and change the flex direction of the form to be column, and then I'll tell you the meaning of this, okay. And then we want to change the height of the form to be 100%. 100% means that since the form exists on the login main, and the login main is taking 60% of the login wrapper, this 100% over here will take the full height, okay, of the login main. Let me show you something. So when you come here and say background color to which color sinks, okay, lime sinks. So you can see that you have in lime as a background. Now this background is not for the login main, but rather for the form. This is because the form is a child and has taken the full width and the height of the parent. And one way to find out is that you can see that this edge here is sharp, but you can see that you realize that in the code or before we changed the border radius of that particular login main to 10 pixels. Okay, so that's it. So let's remove this so that we don't get any sharp edges. Exactly. Now the next thing I want to style is the form group. Form group exists as child, or they exist as children, right? inside our form like this. Cool. So we want them to take the full width of the form that they exist. However, we want their height to be 15% of what they occupy. Then we want to change the background color. I want to change the background color to a color that okay, let me put this thing. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, to something visible. Maroon is visible, so we can see the effect we're getting here. The reason why they are large is because of the fact that they are two. Okay, so to see let's try and use this mechanical way of separating them. When they use the margin, give it 5px, you can see that they exist as two. You can see it this way. Now, what you want to do again is that you want to change the you want to remove this, okay, from the here, and because when we do the 5 margin for 5 pixels and the weight is 100%, see there's an offset. So let's say if you want to keep the offset, let's move this height, oh sorry, this 100% to make it 95. Then switch back, you can see that it is actually occupying that space. Okay, so what I'm gonna do again is that let's make it like 98% and see. Yeah, so exactly 98%. Okay, now there's another way to avoid this. Okay, to avoid the over that's left and right, that is to actually keep this as 100%, but then you add 0% to 0 pixels to the side. So what it means is that we are only adding margin to the top and down, okay, of the element. So if you increase this into 10, or let's say 15, I want to have a wider gap between these two. Okay, the reason why this gap is wider than this one is because I have 15 pixels being left for here and 15 pixels being added to here. So together they are 30 pixels here and this is 15 pixels. There's another 15 pixels down here, but because this background is white, you wouldn't be able to see. Cool. So now let's move on. Let's change the width of the phone group and make it 80%. Okay, yeah, they want to change the weight to make it 80%. I will tell you why. This is because you want to make the alignment, the align items to be center. Yes, yes. So this way we have changed the horizontal alignment, from flex start to center. That is, when you specify the display to be a flex, automatically the alignment becomes the align item become more center. Okay, let's move on. Now you're going to the login wrapper. I'm going to log in, sorry, the form. I want to specify a p tag here, which is the title of the form. Okay, cool. Over here, we give it a class called what? Form dash title. Okay, it should appear right in the middle. Now I want to increase the size of it. So go into our CSS code, right under the form, okay, write dot for, then font size to be 20 pixels, very large. But we want to use pixels for font sizes, okay? So I want to use 2.2. No, okay, I want to. Let's make 1.8 em. Now the reason I'm doing 1.8 em because em is that 1 pixel stands for what, 16 pixels. This is 1 em stands for 16 pixels, so 1.8 should give me 30 pixels if my calculation is right. If it's wrong, please make sure it works. Okay, let's refresh. You're not getting any effects. Okay, why? Oh, font title. Thank you. So we are getting it here. Now let's go or dive into our form group. The first form group is going to be our email, or represent our email. So here will be inputs, and I can simply type is equal to text, okay, and we're going to give us a space. But because I will not be doing external validation in the Java script, so I'm going to use the email type rather, and move forward with my life and live happily ever after. Okay. Over here you write a for. A for is a should I say a link to the input field of which the label belong. Okay, so specify an ID over here, and we select here and write email. Okay, cool. Now this shortcut is hold Alt after you've placed one insertion point and click another and click another and click another to duplicate the insertion point. Thank you very much. Now let's try and fix our form group for the email to look nice and neat, clean as well. Now what you want to do is that you want to take the form group and change the display to flex, okay, and then you will change the flex direction to be column because you want one element to come before the after the other. Okay, cool. Now the reason why we have the input field stuck to the top is the fact that the application the instructions or the rule set on the CSS is working, okay, but as we don't have a text here, so when it type in email here and go back, you can see that it has really taken the space. Now we'll go back to our CSS and we say that the label should take 10%. Sorry, the height of the label should be only 10%. Okay, and then you want to okay, then you want to type the email, right? I have it's called email, right? Yeah. But then I wouldn't want to do it email. I want to do this for all. Okay, let me just do it email, and I want the email to take a height of 90% like this, and then we want to do certain things to the email. For instance, we want to remove the outline, okay, the email's outline, and make it none. Sorry if you can hear, if you can't hear me.